Alright, we got a Toyota Camry. I think it needed a motor. But I'm gonna give you the basic rundown from what I was told, and you can make a determination from there. Customer had the oil changed at Precision, and 6 days later, here we are. They said they need a motor, and based on what it sounded like when I tried to crank it, it sounded like it needed a motor. They want to take a cheaper route, which, you know, I'm not really suggesting. This car does look great on the inside, great, really good on the outside, and feel like it was well maintained. Has 146,000 miles on it. We're going to find that out shortly, though, how well it's been maintained internally. But superficially, it looks really good, and the customer did tell me that before we got it. So, without further ado, I think the first thing is to rotate it, let you see hear what it sounds like, and we're going to go through the most basic necessary check, which is check the oil, because I didn't do that, and pull the valve cover off, pull the plugs out, and have to inspect the pistons. I don't know if the belt's rotating down there, so I know there's marks right here, so let me crank it over and see if the belt moves. Alright, sorry about it. Yeah, the belt does move. Let's pull the cover off with a 10 millimeter. Pull the valve cover, or pull the spark plugs and then pull the valve cover, see what we got going on. You can smell like the blown head gasket. It's crazy. It's like chalky inside of there. Let's pull the plugs because it tells us a story of how it was running. These are loose, and that kind of explains why. Let me see if I can screw it out with hand. It explains why I felt that chalky substance. That one wasn't. That was fine. They're okay. They're okay. It wasn't horrible. I've had someone I could pull out by hand. There's a plug. Double platinum Bosch. It's definitely going to be wet from me trying to start it up. But this chalky pastiness is what kind of concerns me. Like it ran hot or something. That didn't help too terribly much. You know, one thing I didn't do, I didn't check the oil yet. Let's pull that dipstick out. Let's see what this looks like. Now, it's a possibility because of where it went, they probably topped the oil off. And it's got oil in it. See if I got all the bolts. I think we're good. Have to get that one off there. Usually I have to heat that up. Knocked all over. You gotta get those center ones. Missing it. Knock the camera over. Bottom side of the valve cover. It really looks like the head gasket was blown. Let's check the coolant real quick. Head gasket blowing so many different ways. Timing chain don't really look too terribly straight. I don't know. Let's rotate the engine, see what happens. Well, I checked the footage. Cams are moving just fine. I'm gonna look at the cams a little bit better because a lot of times I tend to overlook some things, but it just obviously seemed like a head gasket. Don't seem like any type of oil starvation. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw some air in the coolant system, and logically we should see coolant pouring into the cylinders how bad the head gasket is blown. So I'm gonna take the quick and easy route. I'm not gonna put my pressure tester or anything to it. I'm just gonna use the cap pressure. Put air pressure in here. It'll naturally, oh gosh. Oh, the cap has to be good for this to work too, so yeah, I might have to put something on it. Let me see. Yeah, let me see if I can get a pressure tester on here to seal it up better. I can't even get my words out. I think this is a match right here without reading any instructions. Yeah, this will work. One thing I wouldn't mind doing is just designing some type of check valve so I can rapidly administer air pressure versus having to pump this thing. I got my test long inspection camera off to the side here, so we'll use that. I might be able to just run the air in there from the side, and it might go to the least amount of pressure and jump through that seal. I could try that. I can't guarantee that'll work though. It was worth a try. Alright, I gotta get a little creative. I took the vacuum portion, blocked the end off, and now I can add pressure on one side here. So, I want to say this one? There we go. So I can add pressure. And I got the universal stopper. What did I do with it? It's a cone. So we're gonna use this in here, this in here, and then we're just gonna add a little pressure. I can't gauge it if I recall properly, so hopefully it'll stay put. It's leaking so bad it's coming out the cylinders. It's not even holding any pressure. Let me see if I can get the camera down in there and show you what that looks like. I'm gonna fill it up with water so it'll get above the cylinders, and then we'll be able to see the fluid just dumping in the cylinders. It's bad. It's just coming out. I could put my smoke tester to it. It's so bad, and we can just watch the smoke billow out. I think we'll just use the camera. I think that'll be the best route, the more simple route, versus having to wait on that oil to warm up. Show you how bad it is. It's literally just starting to seep out the sides. So here's the valves. There's the cylinder wall in the back. Water is just coming out. Let me see if I can get a little bit of air pressure in there and exacerbate the flow. Oh well. That's my question. Dang it. Well, I ain't never seen a head gasket blown this bad. You know, I'd imagine something had to cause that to happen though. Like a water pump leaking. Let me get down here. Or either a cracked radiator. These normally crack, yeah. These normally crack at the top here. And it definitely is cracked. So it's definitely gonna need a radiator if we wind up doing the head gasket. So regardless, when I go through it, do the head gasket, I'll have to do the water pump, do the radiator, and hope this head isn't cracked. If I recall properly, these heads are not supposed to be milled, or if they are, they're supposed to be, I mean, extremely little supposed to be taken off. So, yeah. Let me see if I can get some numbers for these people of what it costs to replace the head gasket and, you know, to do it right. Like I said, doing timing chain, water pump. Might have to do the, we can leave that drive belt on there. I think that's the only thing that's pretty much salvageable. Of course, we'll get timing chain, spark plugs, valve cover, gasket, everything. So, and then we'll replace some of those miscellaneous hoses. So yeah, give me a minute. Well, I talked to the customer. We went over some numbers. The only practical route was either putting a remanufactured engine here with a 4-year warranty, or replacing the head gasket and just doing everything that way. Even though doing the head gasket was half the price of the brand new motor, of parts and labor. And mind you, the radiator needs to be replaced because it's cracked. Doing the water pump, I would have been doing a water pump, head gaskets, machining, all the everything that needs to be done, timing chain, all that. So he just didn't find it to be worth it despite being half the price. When I tell you this car is in excellent condition, this car is in great condition. 142,000 miles on it. This car is in great condition. But, you know, 27, and I just, maybe it's an age thing, but he said maybe if it was a 2017 it'll be different, but 2017s would have been like double the cost, likely. I don't remember what I left out. I had a phone call. One of the dealers supposed to come out here and take a look at it and see if because the kid was like he's gonna sell the car. So the dealer, he's gonna come by and take a look at it, because like I said, it's worth it. The engines are just extremely expensive. The motors are like $5,000 for a brand new motor, and I can understand, but you know, you have to take into consideration the car payment is like $450 on average, assuming you got decent credit, a month. That's like $5,000 a year. So what a person would pay in a year, that's just getting their car back up and running, you know. And that's just a year worth of payments versus 5-year payments on a brand new car. So that's just how I'm looking at it. I understand why he would want to not invest into it, because it seemed like it's just easier to put some cash down and get into something that's running and not know what it has going on versus having to do heart surgery on your car. So yeah, like I said, in great condition. Didn't want to invest in it. Here we are. I don't think I need to add anything. I told you about what I want to replace with the head gasket. If I was to take that route, the new motor, it's better. And again, like the motor was $5,000, but for a 4-year warranty, you're good to go. You know, for 4 years plus. I mean, it's a completely remanufactured engine. But yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna call it quits on this. The camera that I used was a Teflon camera. That impact gun is just some cheap stuff I bought. So nothing special. 10mm socket, 5/8 socket. Pull the valve cover off, spark plugs. Use a little heat to get the rubber hose off. Let it expand and just pull it off. Yeah, I rarely see head gaskets this blown, but the car was, as he told me, you know, it was ran hot. So the reason why coolant was in there was because they put coolant in it when they discovered it had ran hot and shut down. So a lot of things happened after the fact with the customers. And so even though we may see oil in there and it has signs of oil starvation, a lot of times when the issue occurs and damage occur, it's too late, and then people try to remedy what was already damaged. So versus the preventative maintenance measures. Anyway, I'll update the description if anything happened with this, but hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, how to reach us on work. See you next one.